Welcome to the Agentic AI podcast. Today, we're really digging into something fundamental for enterprise growth, the ideal customer profile, the ICP. If you're working in B2B, especially sales or marketing, you know the drill. The biggest drag isn't usually a lack of effort, right? It's that constant drain time, budget spent chasing leads that, well, we're never really going to convert. That's basically the hidden cost of guesswork, and it just kills revenue predictability.
Yeah, it absolutely does. It's like this silent killer of profitability. And, the hard truth is that the traditional ways of building an ICP, they're kind of broken. We're talking about manual analysis, maybe some subjective sales anecdotes, quarterly reviews if you're lucky. These things are just static. But the market, it shifts constantly. New competitors, economic changes, regulations. It doesn't wait for your quarterly review.
It's exactly static in a dynamic world. And that's precisely why AI isn't just helpful here. It feels like a necessary shift, a paradigm shift. We're essentially moving the whole concept of who is a valuable customer from this outdated, often biased document to something living, breathing, adapting in real time, an intelligent system.
That's the goal.
So our mission today is really twofold. Unpack why those old static profiles just don't cut it anymore, and then detail the genuinely agentic capabilities AI brings to the table for enterprise strategy.
And look, we're not talking small improvements here. The data coming out is, frankly, stunning. AI-driven approaches. They're showing improvements in identifying the right buyer's accuracy up to 87%.
87%?
Yeah. Think about that for a second. Compared to the traditional human-led methods, they usually hover around, 36% accuracy?
36? Wow.
That gap, that huge difference between 36% and 87%. That's where sustainable competitive advantage is being forged right now.
Okay, 87%. That's incredible. Almost intimidatingly good. Before we get into the AI magic, let's quickly break down why that 36% is so, lacking. When we talk ICP, we're not just talking buyer personas, right? This is the whole account, the organization. What goes into that blueprint traditionally?
Right. It's much more specific in B2B. You've got the basics, the firmographics industry, company size, revenue, location, standard stuff. But a truly modern ICP goes deeper. You need technographics.
Technographics meaning their tech stack.
Exactly. What technology are they actually using? Are they a Salesforce shop or SAP? Did they just move to AWS or Azure? Knowing their tech stack changes the entire conversation.
Yeah, that's where those high-value signals often hide, isn't it?
Precisely. So you combine firmographics, technographics, and then layer on real-time intent data. What are they searching for online right now? Are they researching solutions like yours? And of course, behavioral signals. How are they interacting with your website, your content? Getting this right is foundational for efficiency. A solid ICP shortens sales cycles, boosts retention, it aligns everyone.
But that traditional process, relying on people manually pulling all that together, it just can't handle that complexity effectively, can it?
No, it really can't.
Yeah.
There are, I'd say, 4 big hurdles. First, the data is often incomplete. Manual collection surveys, sales reps' notes, maybe some spreadsheets. It inevitably misses crucial nuances. You end up with a patchy view at best.
Right.
Second, as we said, the profile is static. Build it in January based on last year's data. By June, with market shifts, it's already becoming obsolete.
And then there's the human factor. I mean, every sales leader has that story, right? That one favorite customer that somehow becomes the template for everything, even if the data doesn't quite back it up.
That's the third hurdle, bias and inconsistency. You rely too much on anecdotes, maybe from the top salesperson or the latest big win. It skews the whole profile, leads to fragmented, inconsistent strategies across the team. And fourth, that naturally leads to misalignment. Marketing runs campaigns based on their potentially outdated or biased ICP view. Sales might be operating on gut feel or a different set of assumptions entirely. Those internal silos, they become direct roadblocks to revenue.
Okay, so the picture is clear. Static, biased, incomplete data leading to messy, fragmented strategies. So enter the AI toolkit. This is designed to break down those silos and bring in that 87% level of dynamic accuracy. Where does AI start?
It really begins with scale, data aggregation. AI systems can pull together and make sense of disparate data streams in a way no human team possibly could. We're talking everything, your CRM history, social media chatter, web analytics patterns, third-party data enrichment, you name it. Tools like, say, HubSpot's Breeze are built to integrate these streams pretty seamlessly. That alone starts breaking down the silos almost immediately.
Okay, so you unify this massive data lake. Then you move into the really interesting part, discovery, right? Machine learning. This is where AI goes beyond just reporting and finds connections we humans would probably miss.
This is where it gets really powerful, yes. ML algorithms are just phenomenal at pattern recognition across potentially thousands of variables at once. Remember that example. Linking high cloud adoption rates in mid-market tech firms to, say, 50% faster deal closures for a SaaS product.
Yeah.
A human analyst looking at spreadsheets, industry, size, conversion rate might completely miss that connection. Why? Because the cloud adoption data point might live over in the IT department systems, not on the marketing dashboard.
It's connecting that seemingly unrelated technical detail to the actual business outcome.
Exactly. It finds those subtle attributes, maybe the specific version of a competitor software they're using, or a recent leadership change mentioned on LinkedIn, and connects them directly to the probability of a successful deal. It helps you identify the true success blueprint, not just the one you assumed based on past, maybe biased experience.
And the outcome of understanding those success factors is we stop chasing ghosts and start predicting winners. Which brings us neatly to predictive analytics, moving from reporting on the past to forecasting the future.
Absolutely essential. This is all about prioritizing resources effectively. AI scores every potential lead, every account, based on its historical likelihood to convert. We've seen platforms, Salesforce Einstein is a good example, use these models to prioritize the highest value accounts and the results. Engagement boosts up to 79% in some cases. So instead of spreading your sales team thin, you know precisely where to focus your most valuable time and effort before you even get to a traditional qualification stage.
That covers the structured data, the clean stuff. But you mentioned earlier, so much critical intel in B2B is messy, right? It's buried in text fields, call notes, emails. How does AI tackle that unstructured goldmine?
That's where natural language processing, NLP, comes in. It's incredibly powerful. NLP algorithms can mine things like call transcripts, emails, customer support tickets, even online reviews or earnings call transcripts. They extract not just keywords, but sentiment. Is this prospect frustrated with their current vendor? Are they urgently looking for a specific feature? And intent signals. This adds crucial qualitative depth. You don't just know who the customer is based on firmographics. You start to understand their immediate operational pressures, maybe even their emotional state about their current setup.
So it adds the why behind the who.
Beautifully put, yes. And finally, the crucial piece to avoid falling back into that static trap, continuous learning. The AI doesn't just build the profile once. It dynamically updates the ICP in near real time as new data flows in. A major competitor launches a disruptive product. A new regulation impacts a key vertical. The ICP adjusts automatically. This keeps your strategy relevant, even when the market is turbulent.
That breakdown is really helpful. It makes the distinction between just standard analytics and this AI-driven predictive intelligence very, very clear. Okay, let's make this practical. For an enterprise listening, wanting to make this pivot towards AI-driven ICPs, what are the key steps? You mentioned maybe 5 key stages to make this transition work.
Yeah, it definitely requires a structured approach. Step 1, define crystal clear business goals. What are you actually trying to achieve? Is it purely expanding into the mid-market segment? Or is the main goal maximizing lifetime value within your existing enterprise accounts? You need that North Star first.
Okay, goal defined. Step 2.
Collect and unify your data. This is foundational. Use external enrichment services, maybe like a ZoomInfo, to fill gaps in firmographics or technographics. And crucially, get your internal data house in order. Structured CRM data, unstructured notes, support logs, make sure they can talk to each other. Unification is key.
Right. Then comes the intelligence layer itself.
Step 3, apply the AI and machine learning models. This is where the magic happens. Segmenting audiences based on those high correlation attributes we talked about, scoring leads predictively. There are enterprise-grade platforms out there like 6sense, for example, that specialize in this kind of predictive modeling. They help optimize targeting based on buying stage and probability almost immediately.
But you can't just let the machines run wild, right? We still need the human touch.
Absolutely not. Step 4 is crucial. Validate with your human teams. You must integrate feedback from sales, from marketing, even customer success. Do the accounts the AI flags as ideal actually feel right based on their ground level experience? Human insight catches context. Nuances maybe the data missed. It makes the model more robust, more trusted.
Makes sense. And the final piece, the agentic element.
Step 5, automate the integration. This dynamic ICP can't just live in a report or a spreadsheet. It's useless there. It needs to be seamlessly embedded right into your core systems, your CRM, your account-based marketing platforms.
Those ABM platforms designed for targeting specific high-value accounts.
Exactly. And into your campaign execution tools. The profile has to actively guide day-to-day actions, automatically if possible.
Okay, let's talk ROI. because, the C-suite always wants the numbers. You mentioned the 87% accuracy improvement, which is huge. But what does that translate to in terms of pipeline actual closed deals?
We're seeing some really impressive transformations. There was one enterprise SaaS company, for instance, that used this AI approach to pinpoint this very specific niche, fastest growing mid-market firms with high cloud adoption. The result, a four-fold increase in their qualified pipeline value. Just by focusing their efforts so precisely, it completely changed their trajectory.
And this kind of targeting precision works even in more traditional, maybe highly regulated industries too.
Definitely. We saw a bank, for example, refine its ICP for SME lending. They started integrating transaction history data with external intent signals, like businesses searching for expansion loans. They achieved a 25% higher conversion rate on those targeted lending campaigns. Why? Because they knew exactly which businesses were actually ready to grow and needed capital now.
And even right at the top of the funnel for marketing, the efficiency gains must be pretty stark.
Oh, absolutely. Look at campaign metrics. There was a case study with Individual using M1 Project's ICP generator for their LinkedIn outreach. They reported a click-through rate 1.7 times the industry standard. When your targeting is that sharp, your engagement just skyrockets and your ad spend becomes way more efficient.
So if we boil down this impact for long-term growth, what are the headline metrics, the really compelling numbers?
I think it comes down to massive efficiency gains across the board. Predictive AI is boosting lead-to-customer conversion rates by up to 31% in some studies. And maybe even more critically, it's driving down customer acquisition cost, the C-fee, by an average of 42%. Better alignment, much lower cost to acquire the right customers, and higher conversion rates. That's really the recipe for predictable, sustainable revenue.
This brings us squarely into the future, doesn't it? The truly agentic part of this Agentic AI podcast. We've established AI can identify, score, prioritize the perfect customer with incredible accuracy. But the next leap is giving the AI the autonomy to act on that insight.
That's exactly the definition of the agentic shift we're starting to see. Today, most AI in this space is predictive or prescriptive. It gives you a score, maybe recommends an action. Tomorrow it becomes more executive. The agentic AI doesn't just identify the ideal profile. It will increasingly autonomously recommend, and in some cases, actually execute the corresponding actions. Think personalized sales campaigns, tailored content delivery, automated follow-up sequences.
So it takes that dynamic ICP and translates it directly into proactive, personalized outreach and strategy execution.
Precisely. It integrates tightly with those ADM platforms we mentioned, triggering the right engagement sequence for the right account at exactly the right moment potentially without needing a human to press go on every single step. The AI stops being just a reporting tool and starts actively shaping the sales and marketing outcomes.
Okay, but when you introduce that level of autonomy, especially dealing with sensitive customer data and sophisticated targeting, ethics and trust instantly become paramount concerns, right? What are the guardrails we absolutely need for this agentic future?
The first one, and it's absolutely critical, is tackling bias head-on. AI models learn from historical data. And if that historical data reflects past human biases, maybe only targeting certain industries or regions because that's where sales historically focused, ignoring potential elsewhere, the AI will learn, perpetuate, and likely amplify that discrimination.
So fighting that requires more than just feeding it data. You need deliberate curation, diverse data sets.
Absolutely. Enterprises must build in regular, rigorous audits of their AI models, specifically looking for bias and ensuring fairness. It means consciously building diverse, representative training data sets from the outset and continually questioning if the AI is finding genuine patterns or just reinforcing old prejudices.
And of course, compliance, building these incredibly detailed profiles of technographics, real-time intent that must tread carefully around privacy regulations.
Non-negotiable. Compliance with regulations like GDPR, CCPA, and whatever comes next has to be baked in from the very beginning. Transparency is the bedrock of trust here. Customers and prospects need to understand what data is being collected about them and how it's being used to power these intelligent automated systems. Gaining and maintaining explicit consent, being transparent about data handling these are essential for agentic AI to succeed ethically and commercially in the long run.
So this deep dive really makes it clear. AI is transforming the ideal customer profile from that static, often biased, and frustratingly inaccurate document into a dynamic living system, one that continuously learns and adapts in real time to market shifts. It's becoming the intelligent foundation for effective ABM, true personalization, and ultimately sustainable growth.
And the competitive edge really goes to those who move on this shift now. I think your actionable advice for listeners has to be, start today. Assess the data you have, its quality, its completeness. Then seriously consider piloting one of these predictive platforms, whether it's a major player like HubSpot or 6sense, or maybe even exploring a custom internal agent solution. Getting started now builds that crucial advantage.
Right. And that leads us perfectly to our final thought for you to consider. If AI can already achieve 87% accuracy in finding the perfect customer today, what does that really mean for the structure of traditional human-led sales teams tomorrow? Especially when agentic systems start executing the entire personalized campaign pipeline autonomously. Maybe the role of the seller evolves dramatically, less hunter, more strategist, orchestrator, and maybe even auditor of these intelligence systems.
Definitely something to mull over. Thanks for tuning into the Agentic AI podcast.